Most men don't actually hate Kanye West. They're uncomfortable with him. Every man I know has an opinion about him. Half say he's a genius. The other half say he's completely lost it. But here's what almost none of them will admit. When Kanye walked out of that interview, it wasn't disgust. It was envy. I'll tell you exactly what went through my head the first time I saw that clip. My first thought was, what an ego. My second thought, about 10 seconds later, was, I've sat through so many pointless meetings, bad conversations, rooms I wanted to leave. And I've never once just stood up and walked out. That second thought bothered me more than anything Kanye did, because I realized something uncomfortable. I wasn't judging him. I was judging myself. Here's what I think is actually happening. Kanye says what he thinks, right away. No filter, no calculation, no how will this sound. He doesn't perform a version of himself to make the room comfortable. He just says it. Now compare that to your own life. You think your boss made the wrong call. You say, that's an interesting approach. You sit in a meeting that should have been an email. You stay for an hour. You know a relationship isn't working anymore. You stay another year. Most men spend their lives doing the opposite. And then we call him crazy for not doing that. Now, let's be clear. Not everything Kanye says is right. Some of it has been harmful. This isn't about defending him. It's about understanding what he represents. Because a lot of what gets labeled as Kanye being unstable is just a man not performing. Because here's what I've noticed about men. We perform constantly. You perform competence in front of your boss. You perform calm in front of your kids, even when you're not. You perform I've got it handled in front of your friends, because anything else feels like weakness every day. Until you don't even know what you actually think anymore. And then you see someone like Kanye. No filter, no adjustment, no version of himself designed to be accepted. Just him. And instead of seeing honesty, we call it a breakdown. But strip everything else away. The controversy, the headlines, the mistakes. What you're left with is simple. A man who doesn't need permission to be himself. Now ask yourself something. When was the last time you did that? Not the dramatic version, the small version. Told someone what you actually thought, knowing they wouldn't like it. Walked away from something that was costing you more than it was giving you. Made a decision based on what you wanted, not what was easiest to explain to everyone else. Most men can't answer that without pausing. Because when men argue about Kanye, they're not really arguing about him. They're reacting to what he represents. A man who decided that other people's opinions aren't the center of his life. And for men who've spent years organizing everything around that, being liked, being approved of, being seen as reasonable, watching that is uncomfortable. Because it forces a question you might not want to answer. What would I do differently if I stopped caring what people thought? And that question is dangerous. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Kanye isn't a blueprint. This isn't about copying him. It's about recognizing something in yourself. The part of you that has opinions, but edits them. The part of you that wants to leave, but stays. The part of you that stopped waiting for permission, but never acted on it. That part isn't crazy. It's just unedited. And editing it every day, for years, costs more than most men realize. If that hit closer than you expected, subscribe. Because next week, we're looking at a man who did the exact opposite of Kanye. Who edited himself so completely that nobody, not even the people closest to him, ever really knew who he was, and what that did to him in the end. See you next week.